What's happening everyone, my name is Alex and welcome back. So a few weeks back I made a comparison video looking at the 3 robot vacuums available in the Narwal Freo lineup. At that time we had the Narwal Freo X Ultra, we had the Narwal Freo and the Narwal Freo X Plus. So all great vacuums at different price points, so basically a vacuum for everyone. Now, if you haven't seen that video, I will leave a link to that video in the video's description or the top right corner. But in today's video, we are looking at the latest addition to the Narwal Freo lineup, and that's this robot vacuum right here. So what we have here today, it's called the Narwal Freo Z Ultra. So the two significant technological upgrades for the Freo Z Ultra, so our model right here, are the dual RGB cameras and dual AI computing chips. So basically this new model supports twin AI dodge obstacle avoidance and AI dirt sense 2.0. So now the robot vacuum gets two ultra-wide RGB cameras right here on the front. I'm not sure if you can see that on the camera, plus an infrared sensor. So basically the vacuum has 3D vision now and it can detect very small objects. But what does that exactly mean for you as the user? Well, basically you can leave anything on the floor. The vacuum will be able to see everything that there is on the floor and avoid whatever you may have on the floor. So typically with a vacuum, if you leave a cable on the floor, just to give you an example, a regular vacuum will basically just go over that cable will get stuck on the brush at the bottom here and so on. Well, that's not the case with this one. So with this robot vacuum, you can basically leave anything on the floor, the vacuum will not go over anything. And I've tried this a lot throughout the house here and no issues whatsoever. So anything that is on the floor, the vacuum will basically avoid. As for AI Dirt Sense 2.0, well, this is basically an adaptive real-time smart cleaning strategy. So basically the robot vacuum can identify what kind of waste there is on the floor, so if it's dry or wet waste, and it can adapt the cleaning strategy based on that. So that basically means that the robot vacuum can actively switch the cleaning mode while on a cleaning cycle throughout your house, depending what's on the floor and what kind of contamination is on the floor. To give you an example, if it finds dry waste, it will increase the suction power and to lift up those mops so it can actually pick up and suck up everything from the floor. The opposite happens if it finds wet contamination. So it will lift up the main brush, the side brushes will stop, and it will put pressure on the floor with the mops. So it really depends what's on your floor, but you basically don't have to worry about anything. The vacuum will take care of everything and it will clean everything. So when it reaches a section where there is a lot of stuff on the floor, it can increase the suction power. Talking about suction power, this has an insane suction power of 12,000 pascals. So insane suction power, it basically goes over any surface and it will pick up anything from the surface. And the same goes if there is wet waste on the floor or wet contamination, it will basically put pressure on the floor with the mop so it can clean that better. And just to give you another quick example of how this works, the other day I spilled some milk on the kitchen floor while I had the vacuum cleaning the kitchen. As soon as the vacuum spotted that spilled milk on the floor, in that area it stopped vacuuming, so it only used the mops to go over the spilled milk. Now, after it went over that area a couple of times, it actually went back to the docking station, washed those mops, and then came back. It washed that area once again, and then it went back to the docking station to wash the mops. So much better than I was expecting. So basically, if the vacuum finds anything on the floor, like spilled milk, just to give you an example, it will stop vacuuming and it will concentrate on that area just with the mops. Another thing that's new and different for the Narwal Freo Z Ultra is the all-in-one maintenance-free station. Now, you cannot see that right here next to me because it's too big to have on my desk, but basically in the box you're gonna get that all-in-one maintenance-free station. So now inside that station we actually get a dust bag. So all the dust that gets collected in the robot vacuum gets emptied in that all-in-one station. So let me remove the cover here. We basically have the dust bin in here. So nice and easy, but you're not gonna have to empty this out because the vacuum will do all that by itself. So it basically goes back to that all-in-one station and to empty itself out. Now, another interesting feature that we have for this all-in-one station is basically the AI adaptive hot mop washing and drying. So sensors will identify what type of dirt there is on our mop pads and it will basically increase the temperature so it can clean these better. So if it's just regular dirt, it will be warm water, but if it's something like grease, for example, it will increase the temperature of that water so these get washed better. Of course, the all-in-one station also has a clean water tank at the top and a dirty water tank, and you're gonna be surprised to see how dirty that water is. So whenever this goes throughout your house and cleans your house, well, at least for my house here, but I was quite surprised to see how dirty that water is. The all-in-one station also has auto detergent dispenser, so it will basically mix the detergent in the cleaning solution there all by itself. So you don't really have to do anything, you just have to fill up that clean water tank with water and empty that dirty water tank every so often. Another thing I really like about this robot vacuum and the all-in-one station is how quiet everything is compared to all the other robot vacuums that I got to try. So typically when a robot vacuum goes back to its station to empty itself out, it does make a lot of noise. Well, that's not the case with this one. I mean, it makes a bit of noise, but nowhere as loud as all the other ones that I got to try in the past. So let me actually play a little recording so you can see how loud that is all. Of course, aside from all the sensors that we have on the front here, at the bottom here, because we have a variety of sensors everywhere, basically this vacuum will not fall down the stairs in case you're wondering. At the top here, we also have a LiDAR navigation system. So when you first run the robot vacuum will basically map out your entire house and it knows exactly where it has to go. You're actually going to be able to see on the map there where you have carpet. You can actually even click on the carpet on the map there and select different things regarding the cleaning of that carpet. If it does touch carpet while it's mopping, of course the mops will lift, so it's not gonna mop your carpet because the last thing you want is wet carpet. So these will lift here. Of course it knows exactly where it has to go, it knows exactly where it's been, so it's never gonna get lost. It knows how to go back to the washing station or the all-in-one station to wash its mops. It knows how to empty itself out, it knows how to recharge if it's low on power and so on. And you basically interact with the robot vacuum through the Narwal Freo app. So the app is available free of charge in the Google Play Store or the Apple App Store. Another thing worth mentioning is the fact that the brush that we have at the bottom here doesn't really catch hair on it. So compared to other robot vacuums that I've tried in the past, the design of this brush allows for a tangle-free experience, let's call it, so you're not gonna see hair on this, or if you do, it's only 1-2 pieces of hair. But compared to other vacuums that I've tried, there is barely any hair stuck on this, if any at all. So I do like that about this vacuum, because I don't constantly have to turn the vacuum around to clean that hair on it. Because with a lot of vacuums, if you don't clean that brush every 2-3 days, they do get stuck. So that's not the case with this one. So to quickly conclude this video, the Narwal Freo Z Ultra is definitely the best vacuum that Narwal made so far, and of course the most advanced vacuum that they made so far. I absolutely love the obstacle avoidance on this one, because you can basically leave anything on the floor and the vacuum will be able to just avoid that. With other vacuums in the past, if you don't clean before the vacuum goes cleaning, well, it's probably gonna catch a cable or something like that, but that's not the case with this one anymore. The insane suction power, 12,000 PA, it will pick up anything from the floor. The mops here do a really good job at cleaning the floor. It can get really close to the edges of the wall as well. So it does this crazy motion like left, right, left, right, left, right. So it gets as close as possible to those edges, which is very important because you don't want this much space that's always dirty. But this one kind of solves that by moving the way it moves and gets really close to those edges as well. So overall, a really good vacuum from Narwal. As always, there will be some links in the video's description so you can check this out. If you do have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and I'll try to answer whatever questions you may have. Thanks for watching and I'll see you guys in the next one.